This was my introduction class in which we have discussed how you organize data in computers with two approaches, that is file system and database. In file system, that is called flat file, and all those points we discussed. And in database, you have two types of databases. One is called OLTP, the other is called OLAP. OLTP is online transaction processing. OLAP is online analytical processing. Okay. And what database consists of, how you define database, those all things we studied. Right? Already here we discussed this. Logical container, which contains related objects. And the types of DBMS, HDBMS, NDBMS, RDBMS, ORDBMS. First two are outdated. HDBMS and DBMS are outdated. Ongoing developments are only RDBMS and ORDBMS. And you manage database using SQL. And in the second session of our course, I have come up with the introduction to here. What is RDBMS? Right? Then we have come up with introduction to SQL Server. Introduction to SQL Server. Last two sessions, I meant to say. Right? Last two sessions. This is our third session actually. So you can collect the two sessions videos from management and you can go through those videos. And in introduction to SQL Server, the most important point that we discussed was about client server technology. Yeah, I'll show you that part also. Client server technology. How client server technology was till SQL Server 2016 and what Microsoft has done from SQL Server 2017. Right? That comparison I had there, comparison. Till SQL Server 2016, Microsoft has made SQL Server available only on Windows operating system. Only on Windows. From SQL Server 2017 and later, whatever the versions we have, they all are related with the Windows operating system. Even they work with the Linux operating system also from 17. 16 till 16 story is different. From 17, the process has been changed. Okay. And I compared both of them. You can see clearly single system, how it works, network system, how it works. That comparison we had. Okay. Yes. Today, and I already said you in my last class that since they got many versions of SQL Server available, it's of no use by hearting each version and each release. Right? Release names also, you remember, it's more than enough. I'll give you one example. First, we'll talk on that. Difference between release and version. But if you know this, that is enough. No one will ask you like which version, in which year, in which, what was those all things we don't need. But still, I'll just compare so that you can understand what exactly happens. Okay. Now, difference between release and version. Any example you take, let me talk on release, and the other end will talk about version. If you talk about SQL Server, example, it is 2014. Okay. If I'm talking about SQL Server 2014, that is called release. It is called what? Release 2014. In the year 2014, SQL Server 2014 has been released. Okay. You want me to write here? Okay. I'll write here also. Here I'll write. Year. Yeah. Year is what? 2014. Okay. What is the version of 2014? What is the version of 2014? You call it as 12.0.2000 RTM. RTM, that is called release to market. That is version. That is the reason, even interview point of view, you should be very clear when these two things are being asked. These two things are asked. What is it? Difference between release and version. If they are asking you to say release name, you are supposed to talk only about release name. If they are asking you to talk about version, then you talk about version only. 12.0.2000. Yes. What is called 12? 12 is called 12. 12 is called major version. 0 is called minor version. Minor version. 2000 is called build version. Build version. Or you call it as patch version. Yes. Build version, or you call as patch version. Two names are given. Right? Build version or patch version. 12 is called major version, 0 is called minor version, 2000 is build version, or what do you call that name as? Patch version. Okay. And one more thing. After introducing this SQL Server 2014, example, this is only to make you understand, so that you can correlate and understand other releases, other versions easily. Okay. Now, when SQL Server 2014 was introduced, right? So, after, so people will definitely, go with license. They purchase the software. When they purchase the software, they have to invest it, right? They have to purchase it. So they'll get license. And once you get license, say, for example, that SQL Server which you have purchased from Microsoft, for some reason, it is not working for your requirement. It is not working for your requirement. So obviously you invested, you purchased that software, you purchased that license. So definitely you question Microsoft, saying that this is the reason I purchased SQL Server software, for using it for so and so purpose, but that is not completing my requirement. So definitely Microsoft will listen to your request. Microsoft will issue one ticket for you. One token kind of thing they'll give you, and they'll say, we will also do once a same process in our R&D. If you find that genuinely that problem is there, then they will consider that as bug in the software. And what Microsoft will do? Yes, Microsoft starts working on it. It starts developments on it. Developments, right? And those developments, when they find that they are fully available, then what Microsoft will do, what Microsoft has done, in 2015, Microsoft has introduced SQL Server 2014 called SP1. Yes, 2014 only, but little extension of it. little extension. What is it? That is called Service Pack 1. Yes. Service Pack 1. And what is the version? What is the version they introduced? The version is 12.0.4100. Yeah. What is it? SP1, not RTM. SP1 it is. What does it mean? In this 1 year, 2014 to 2015, in this 1 year, Microsoft has made in SQL Server 2014 around 2,100 changes. 4,100 minus 2,000. So 2,000. Example, I'm saying example. 4,100 minus 2,000. 2,100 changes Microsoft has made in 1 year. In 1 year. And after making those many changes, Microsoft has introduced it as what? Service Pack 1. Like that, Microsoft has made SQL Server 2014 Service Pack 2, SQL Server 2014 Service Pack 3. These many are there. Yes, this is to just give you an idea what exactly is a difference between release and version. Now, if you talk about Service Pack is always combination of three things. Remember what it is: hot fixes plus new features plus new OS support. Yes, three things. That is called Service Pack. Hot fixes in the sense, whatever the issues people were facing, whoever have purchased license, whatever the issues they were facing, they rectify all those issues. They rectify the problems from the software. That is how you describe the Service Pack. Yeah. Any questions that you have on it, please go ahead. If not, I'll continue with my next part.
No, sir, continue.
Clear? Chalo, right. Okay. Now, today, the next thing we'll study, it is about topics introduced in SQL Server. Especially, I'm talking about development. Right? And I'll draw picture here. Refer to .png file. Chalo, right. Let's come. New file. Save. Just called topics SQL Server. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Here. Microsoft in SQL Server has made available with two modules. With two modules. This is one part and this is second part. Two modules. One is called SQL Second is called T-SQL. T-SQL. Yes. And both of them, SQL and T-SQL, both I'm saying both. Okay. SQL and T-SQL, both. I'm talking about both tools. Yeah. These two together, they come under a category of backend. They both come under category of what? Backend. Both of them. Yes. SQL and T-SQL. They both are categorized as backend. Yes. Backend. SQL is all about structured query language. T-SQL is all about transact SQL. SQL. T-SQL. Okay. Now in SQL, one more thing also I'll highlight. Under SQL, introduction to SQL is very lengthy. Okay. Next class we will study. Detailed discussion I'll have. Or if time permits, today only I'll start with it. Introduction to SQL part. That is our first topic in our course content. Now in SQL, Microsoft has made available with 2 modules in it. 2 modules or 2 parts in it. This is one part. This is another part. Yes. And what are these 2 parts made available here? One is to talk about sub-languages. And second is to talk about SQL objects. Yes. This is one module. And this is one module. Yes. Now, under sub-languages, we have all these things to study. Under sub-languages, we have all these things to study. DQL or DRL, one part. Second, DML, second part. TCL, third part. DDL, fourth part. TCL, fifth part. Yes. And among all these, and remember one thing, when I start my practicals on SQL Server, 100% I follow the same teaching methodology. The way I listed sub-languages, same teaching, same. First, I'll explain DQL, then I'll explain DML, then I'll explain TCL, then DDL, then DCL. I am not saying like all will follow the same pattern. No, I feel this is the best way of learning sub-languages of SQL. You understand? It differs from one person to other person who is in training. You know, some faculties will follow. They first teach DDL. Then they teach TCL. Then they go with, rest of the language. But my teaching pattern is I start with DQL. First, I will start with DQL, data query language. And in the data query language itself will be a course for 3 to 4 weeks. Only DQL. Only DQL. I'll talk for 4 weeks, 4 weeks. Almost 1 month I'll dedicate only for data query language. In that, I will cover everything. We'll discuss about operators. We'll discuss about set joins. We'll discuss about joins. We will discuss about what do you call subqueries, right? So by the time we discuss all these, easily it will take for around 3 to 4 weeks. Easily. And once you understand DQL, DRL thoroughly, the remaining languages are there, na? TML, TCL, DDL, DCL, that languages are there, na? Hardly 10 days enough to learn them. 10 days, we can wind up. Remaining all, we can wind up in 10 days. Something logical, something, interview-based things for us to know is all about DQL. There are a lot of questions that can be raised in interviews from DQL. Logical question. And remaining all are syntax-based approach. No interviewer will waste time on that. Syntax, syntax, you can do it. But some technical queries are there even in that part also. Everything I'll highlight, everything we will study. So definitely you will be benefited of all that stuff what we are going to discuss in our course content. After this, I start my SQL objects. In this SQL objects, I start these things in this way. First, constraints. First part, constraints. Constraints mein, I prepared a separate document for that, only on constraints. We have 3 types of constraints to study. Domain integrity constraint, entity integrity constraint, referential integrity constraint. 3 types are there. 3 types. Domain integrity constraint, entity integrity constraints, referential integrity constraints. And in that topic, we will discuss all these things. What? Not null, check, default, unique, composite unique, primary key, candidate key, foreign key. Yes, these all will be covered under the topic called what? Constraints. Yeah, constraint topic. Maybe we will cover this. And after learning constraint, right? Or you can say like this. First, you learn about tables. No problem. Table is also object only. Tables. Then constraints. Tables may all those types of tables. What types of tables? Yeah, you call them as one category. System tables. Second category, user-defined tables. Then you call them temporary tables. Then you talk about magic tables. Then you talk about table variables. Yes. These all we will study. These all. Okay. Tables. After that, constraints. Then we have something to study about views. Views are of types again. Views. Then we have something to learn about synonyms. Then we have something to learn about sequences. Then we have something to learn about indices. Indices. And then we will study about schemas. Schemas. So these all come under category of what? SQL objects. Yes. tables, constraints, views, synonyms, sequences, indices, schemas. Then we go with T-SQL. Yes. T-SQL. And this T-SQL is divided into different types of coding process. T-SQL deals with what? Different types of coding process. Okay, T-SQL answer. That's called what I said, transact SQL. That's called transact SQL. And what it deals with? Coding, T-SQL. Yeah, coding, programming, whatever you want, you can say. Yeah, I'll mention here. I'll mention. Deals with coding or programming. Yes. Yeah. Now, in this, in this, we have three things to study. Yeah, three things. And what are those three things? Let me highlight. Yeah, let me expand this. Yeah. And from here, I'll reduce it. Yeah, so that I can adjust all the things within this block. Chalo, let's start. First module. Second module. Third module. 3. 3 are there. What do you call them? Yeah, one is called anonymous or unnamed blocks. Second, stored or named blocks. Third, CLR integration. Yes. Anonymous or unnamed blocks. Second part, stored or named blocks. Third, CLR integration. 3 modules. Difference, what do you say is stored in buffer, stored in database. Stored in buffer, stored in database. Now, under anonymous block, under anonymous block, we learn all these things, all this basic programming. Yes. Then we will study about something called exception handling. Then we will study about cursors. 3 topics. 3. And after that, I'll go to stored block programming. In this, we are going to study, we are going to study what stored procedures, stored functions, stored triggers. Yes. 3. And CLR integration is provided for .NET developers. It's not our environment to deal with. This is for .NET people. That is the reason CLR integration is by default disabled. Yes, this is the pattern that we are going to follow for my classes of SQL Server. Exactly the same pattern I would even follow for my corporate trainings as well when I visit to various companies to train employees on SQL Server. The same pattern I made even available for my training at a student level, or even if it is something related with the online. But this is the pattern that we are going to study in our course content. Yes. You have still anything to ask me? Go ahead. If not, I'll continue with my next part. Yes, please. Any questions? Any questions you have on it?
No, sir.
Clear, Poonam? You're following me?
Yes, yes, sir. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Right. Puneet, what about you?
No, sir, it's fine.
Okay. Achu, what about you? Achu, can you hear me? Am I audible to you? Okay. Yes, RDBMS, Introduction to SQL Server, difference between release and version, topics of SQL Server development. I referred it with .png. Fine. Yes. Right. And now remember one more thing. One more thing you remember. Features, features of SQL Server. We will study topic wise. If you want, I can write all the features, whatever Microsoft has introduced in different versions, especially from SQL Server 2005 till latest. Every version, every release, Microsoft has made available with some changes. But I won't say that all the features Microsoft has made available only for development. No, some new features Microsoft introduced in SQL Server for development, some features Microsoft introduced for administration, some features Microsoft introduced for Microsoft has introduced for what? Yes, for administration, or you can say for BI, business intelligence. Some features for developers, some features for administrator, funds for some features for whom? Business intelligence, in that way. But our focus will be on what new features Microsoft has introduced, especially in a scenario of SQL Server. So even if I list the features now, that's only for writing only, because we cannot learn those features at this stage until you don't enter completely into the practicals of SQL Server. So let's not waste our time on it, right? It's of no use. Better is to understand those features practically. Okay. So I won't talk on feature. If you're interested, you can say general features you can study. General features. Okay, right. Now, features of SQL Server, not related to specific version. I am talking about general features of SQL Server. Yes. Right? In that, one point I highlight, it is GUI based RDBMS that will provide two-way approach. Two-way. What is it? Script based plus wizard based. Two approaches. Yes. Second, improved performance. Yeah, improved performance. Right? I again repeat, general features I'm saying, please understand clearly. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Improved performance. Similarly, we have, hello? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, if you can hear me, then fine. Improved performance, then you can say provides high security. Third feature, provides high availability. 5, provides high scalability. 6, supports XML. General features I'm talking about, general features. They are not related to any specific version of SQL Server. General features. They are there right from the initial version till the latest one. Till the latest one. Okay, chalo, right. Yeah. Next topic, tomorrow I'll explain you, not today. Tomorrow's class we will go with it. In that, I'll first try to come up with the first topic, that is introduction to SQL. Detail I'll explain you, and all the sub languages and whatever the commands that I'm going to cover in it. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, Poonam. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes, yes.
Can I get content today, sir?
Which content you mean?
Yes, SQL Server regarding that. Or when you will share with us?
Acha, notes you're saying.
No, not sir. Content that which.
Acha, course content you want.
Yes, which
Okay,
topic
okay.
you will cover.
You just inform those people, our management. They'll give you the course
Okay, sir.
content. Huh?
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. Go through that content, Poonam. If you still feel that something which you need is not missing in it, bring to my notice. I'll include it. No, nothing to worry on it. But maximum whatever industry demands, considering that, I have prepared that course content. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Chalo, right. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Right. Bye, all of you. See you tomorrow.